Are you ready to evolve your life? Are you ready to see immense growth and manifestation in your life? Are you ready to evolve every aspect of your mind, body, and your soul? Well, you're tuned in to Evolved Mastery, and I'm your host, Princeton Clark, and it is my goal to assist you on your journey of self-mastery as you create greatly in every moment of your life. So join me in this episode of Evolved Mastery. Hey, what's going on, guys? Princeton Clark here, and you're tuned into another episode of Evolved Mastery. As we move forward, as we continue to stretch and expand and move into our power, I send you guys lots of love and lots of healing vibes and power into your life as you continue to evolve your life in your mind, body, and soul. Today, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into this, and I wanted to deal with the topic of facing anxiety. You know, on my journey, I faced so many different aspects of myself, and there were so many challenges that I had to face. And I found that there would be times where I would get so paralyzed by anxiety in my life. And there were times where I wouldn't move. I would become so analytical in my mind and my emotions and my feelings and, you know, the overall aspect of my being and what was happening around me in that state of being that I would completely lose myself. And sometimes it's like almost like I had to separate myself completely. Well, in some cases, I did separate myself completely on my journey. You know, but I really wanted to hit this topic of facing your anxiety, but I want to hit it from the root. You know, I understand that based on psychiatry, you know, they say that based by definition, anxiety is a nervous disorder characterized by a state of excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically with compulsive behavior or panic attacks. And I want to deal with this from the root, as I said before, because, you know, we live in a society where we are constantly given drugs or we are prescribed based on the symptoms that we are experiencing. But when we start talking about anxiety, what we need to understand about anxiety, when we look at the definition, the base definition of what anxiety is, it is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. When we are talking about anxiety in and of itself, anxiety is a product of fear. Fear of something that may or may not happen. Fear of changes that may or may not take place. In short, anxiety has to do with you living in the future of what may happen instead of being present in this moment and understanding that literally the only thing that can happen in any moment is what you create to happen. Anything that happens outside of your control shouldn't be your concern because either way, you can't control it. All you can control is how you choose to step and be present in each moment. See, when we're not present in each moment, we create a foundation that is ripe for fear, ripe for worry, ripe for uneasiness, ripe for doubt, all these different things. But we have to learn to be present. We have to learn to acknowledge that a lot of the times when we create this feeling of anxiety, it's because I'm focusing on something that's creating worry. I'm focusing on something that's creating fear. I'm focusing on something that's creating unease. I'm focusing on something that's creating an imbalance in my life. And as a result, it is creating disorder in my life. See, the disorder isn't a function of the brain that's causing a problem in your body. It's a product of your own creation. The disorder is a result of how you think and how you perceive the world around you. And see, if we don't start taking back and owning our power and really looking at this thing, we're going to have a lot of people who are consistently getting lost in this feeling of anxiety. Like I said, I've been there. I know what it feels like to be paralyzed by a fear of some pending event or by a fear of someone's actions towards you or something not working out the way that you want it to work out or whatever it is. There's so many different reasons that we create unease by focusing on things that are not happening in the current moment. See, if something is happening in the current moment, even though it may be happening, guess what? You still have to choose to respond. Otherwise, you put yourself in a position, as I said in my last podcast, of being the victim. And as I said also, you can't always control what happens, but you can always control how you choose to respond to what happens. But if we really want to change the way that we view anxiety, let's change the word. Instead of saying, I have anxiety issues, let's call it what it is. I have fear issues. See, when you start realizing that you are creating something based on a fear that you have, then you can start taking steps to acknowledge and to ask yourself questions like, why am I afraid of this? Why am I creating fear in this area of my life or as it pertains to this specific topic or position that I'm currently in? See, why am I creating the fear that's perplexing me and creating disorder in my life that's limiting my ability to fully flow powerfully in my life? See, we have to start owning our power because how we step into our power is going to dictate the circumstances that we can control in our lives. And so if we're not stepping into our creative power efficiently, it's because we are not responding efficiently. Some area in our lives, we are not owning our power. We're not stepping into our power. And in those areas, we may be making excuses. We may be playing the victim. We may be pointing a finger, so on and so forth. There are so many different ways that we limit ourselves from stepping into our power by not owning our power, by not owning how we choose to respond in any given moment. See, if we truly want to impact our lives and truly want to shift and evolve our lives, we have to move powerfully in our lives. We have to move in every single moment so that we can create in every single moment what we have the ability to create. So I want to challenge you guys to really step out of this state of being, challenge you to really step out of this place, of this flow that is keeping you stuck in this state of fear that's perplexing you and creating disorder or dysfunction in your life. See, because it all starts with you. And you'll hear me continue to say this over and over and over again, because in order to step into your power and in order to evolve your life mentally, physically, and soulfully, you have to recognize the fact that, and I'm going to keep driving it home, you are a powerful creator. And literally every thought, every action, every word, every non-thought, every non-action, every non-word is creating your reality. So you have to ask yourself, if I am a powerful creator, and I am creating a life that I hate, then why am I doing that? Ask yourself, do you really believe how powerful you are? Do you really believe how much ability you have in your life to change those circumstances, to change your situation, to change your perspectives, to change your thoughts and the way that you create your life? How powerful do you truly believe you are? Because until you can answer that, you're going to stay a victim of your own creation. Until you can acknowledge how powerful you are, and until you can face anxiety head on or face your fear head on in whatever way that it's coming, you're going to stay exactly where you are. And in some cases, it'll perplex you to such a level, like it did me at one point in my life, that you literally isolate yourself from the potential of your life. You isolate yourself from potential relationships. You isolate yourself from potential opportunities. You isolate yourself from new experiences. You isolate yourself from new opportunities, so on and so forth. A lot of people who struggle with anxiety have isolated themselves for so long that now to experience something new or to step outside of that bubble creates an even more intense state of fear. And now they really feel paralyzed. But little by little, you have to start stepping out of that fear. You have to start stepping out of that fearful, uneasy bubble that you've created for yourself, because anxiety doesn't just happen overnight. You don't just wake up and one day you just feel anxious. Anxiety comes as a product of thought. It comes as a product of your reality and what you've created or what you may have faced. And so in some situations, things can happen that can create a fear or anxiety, quote unquote, in your life that can kind of put you in a place of not wanting to move or not wanting to experience that again. So you put yourself in this box, you put yourself in this circle. But understand this, people, just like I had to understand it. My next breath isn't promised to me. My next moment is not promised to me. So I am not going to waste my life sitting back, regretting all the things that I didn't do because I let fear ravage my life. If something is going to happen to me, it's going to happen whether I know it or not. This life is going to end at one point or another. And so I'm not going to let fear paralyze me from being the best that I can be in every aspect of my life. I have come through too much, and I've come into too many different situations and circumstances that have magnified my ability to step into my power in my life, to sit here and be a victim, to sit here and make excuses, to sit here and let fear control me. I've gone through too much to stay in that place. And see, this is where you have to come to within yourself. You have to ask yourself, how much do I love myself? Because to live in a state of fear is to live in a state of self-abuse. And that's hard to hear because it's like, well, this happened to me and that happened to me. Well, okay, like I've said before, I was abused mentally, physically, verbally, and emotionally. I was molested between the ages of 9 and 11. I've been in shootouts. I used to fight all the time. I used to fear for my life because of some decisions that I had made at one point. I was on drugs. I was selling drugs. I used to drink so much trying to escape my anxiety and escape my problems that I had bleeding ulcers. I was literally throwing up blood. I've been there. I've done that. But I also stand on the other side of that now. And so I challenge the leader, the powerful creator in you. I challenge you to stand up and own your power. I challenge you not to pay attention to what the circumstances say. I challenge you not to get caught up in what happened in the past. I challenge you to love yourself enough to take that step forward. I challenge you to love yourself enough to take that step into your potential. I challenge you to embrace new opportunities. I challenge you to embrace each moment and each breath as it were your last, because I don't want you to lay on your deathbed or lay at the end of your life with regrets. See, what I fear more, as I stutter through that, what I fear more is the fact that I don't want to live a life where I don't manifest everything that I have the potential to manifest. And so because I know my potential to manifest it, I don't really have to get caught up in the fear of that happening because I know that I'm going to manifest with every single moment. I know that I'm going to create what I have to create in every single moment. I'm not saying that fear or fearful things are not present in this world. There are not things that could ultimately harm us. But what I am saying is this: no matter what happens, I have to step through that fear. And I have to create via my power. The fear can always be present. If somebody puts a gun to my head, or if somebody were to threaten one of my kids or somebody that I love, the fear of being shot would still be present. But would it stop me from stepping in front of that bullet to protect their lives? No. So what I'm going to challenge you to do today is to step in front of the bullet of fear and say, you know what? You will not stop me. Because regardless of what happens, I am powerful. I will not let circumstances dictate to me how powerful I'm going to be in every single moment of my life. But understand this, I also get it. I get that it's not always easy to respond when it hits you that quick. I understand that it's not always easy to just shift your perspective like that, and so I want you to start putting some things into practice. The next time you start feeling anxious about something, go back to the questions that I told you to ask yourself. Why am I afraid? What am I afraid of? Why am I paralyzing myself? Why am I choosing to focus on these things that are creating an unease or fear within my being? And then as you observe those things, I challenge you to write those things down and really observe those things. And then ask yourself on the other side, why am I choosing not to step in my power? What am I? I am a powerful creator that has the ability to manifest whatever I choose to manifest. So why am I choosing to let these things stop me? Why am I choosing to create limitation in my life? And let's start there. As you begin to observe the fact that you are creating things, in those moments, when those moments arise, I want you to take a step back and I just want you to take a deep breath. And as you take that deep breath in, I want you to realize that you are not this body. You are not the circumstances of the world. You are the breath of life flowing into creative flow, into creative being. You are the breath, and your breath is the paint. Your body is the brush, and the world is your canvas. Stop letting things perplex you. Stop letting this unease in your body dictate what you will do in every single breath. As you breathe in, take a deep breath, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Be present in this moment. Be present in those moments. Be present at all times, understanding that your breath is the most powerful thing that you have. Your breath is the very thing that's giving your body the force and the power to flow in this realm. And so we want to value each breath. We want to value each moment. We want to love ourselves in each moment intentionally. No longer letting moments be taken from us. No longer letting opportunities be taken from us. It's time to face the anxiety, or it's time to face, quote unquote, the fear. We have to leave behind all of these different things that are limiting us and labeling us. We have to start moving beyond all of these things so that we can fully actualize our potential and our purpose in our lives, But when we start dealing with anxiety, we have to address the way that we're thinking. We have to address the way that we're perceiving the world around us and where we're putting our focus, where we're putting our thoughts, because whatever we think about will directly tune our energy, and whatever our energy goes into is the state of being that our body now aligns with, so start really paying attention to how you're thinking and how you're perceiving. Are you thinking positive things? Are you thinking things that lead you into a state of fear, a state of worry, a state of doubt, a state of unease, and as a result creating disorder in your life? Or are you focusing on things that are bringing you into an awareness of your power, awareness of your purpose, that are challenging you to step into each moment and take advantage of each moment to manifest something new in that moment? And I understand it's not always going to be easy. But as long as you put in the work and you continuously practice, it will get easier over time. But you have to face it every single day. You have to look at yourself and you have to face yourself every single day. You have to look at how you're thinking every single day. You have to look at how you're responding every single day. You have to look at what you're giving to your life and what you are sowing into the earth of your life, because you are the root to the tree of your life, as I always say. So let's really start looking at what seeds we're sowing or not sowing, because we can't hope to reap powerfully in our lives if we are moving in a state of weakness that's grounded in a state of fear. But I believe that you have the power to move beyond this. And I'm an example that you do have the power to move beyond this, because I haven't always been the man that I am now. I had to awaken to my power. I had to awaken to my inner master. And I had to start mastering my life every single day. I had to face my anxiety every single day until I mastered it. But I want to encourage you, and I want you to keep stepping into your power. Keep moving forward, because you are so amazing and you are so powerful. But it's time for you to fully believe it, and it's time for you to fully step into it. And if you have any questions as you work through this process, or you would like assistance working through this process, contact me. Reach out to me at my website, www.evolvedmastery.com. And you can find me, as I always say, on all social media platforms at Evolved Mastery. So look me up, connect with me, let me know what challenges you face. Maybe I can assist you in some way to expedite your growth. You don't have to do it on your own. But remember, you are your greatest investment. And it's time to invest in you. It's time to face the things that you've been giving your power away to, so that you can fully step into your power to flow efficiently in your life. This is Princeton Clark signing out. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll be talking to you again soon. Peace.